Really good, Laura, that. I'm really impressed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But then it's like more beginners did this. I think it's just a confidence thing, isn't it?
Lovely shot. You're allowed tons of mistakes. And if we don't see them, we can't help them.
Yeah.
Great shot.
Absolutely love it. Oh.
Really good.
Good.
That feel better?
Yeah, a lot better.
Night and day. So far with Laura's golf, there's been some trials and tribulations and actually some success.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah, yeah.
So today we're looking at the different shaft options that Laura can have because you hit these really, really well.
Yeah.
However, feedback from the wedges, you didn't really enjoy the steel shafts, did you? So we've come to the only place I would trust with my wife's golf game. We've come to see the master fitter. Lawrence, how you doing, mate?
Yeah.
You well?
Yeah, very good.
Nice to meet you.
I said nice to see you.
Oh, did you? Okay. Well, Lawrence, today you have my wonderful 6 months pregnant wife.
Yeah.
How are you feeling? You okay.
Heavy.
Yeah. And really, we just wanted to check that she's really good. I mean, still, I don't want to put words in your mouth. You take it away. But beginner golfer, love the irons. But
Yeah, it's been a while since, so don't judge me today. But yeah, just if they're heavy, I really struggle.
That's fine. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to start by hitting a couple of your sort of short irons, your 8-iron, your pitching wedge.
Okay.
And then we'll have a look at going through some wedges and seeing what shaft's going to work
Okay.
appropriately through there for you.
Yeah,
All right?
yeah.
what are your thoughts on the shafts in there, the Atmos?
Yeah, it's a nice lightweight product, isn't it? Right? It's not overly heavy. It looks a sensible length as well. So we'll have a look and see where we are there and what we could do thereafter.
Okay.
All right. I'll leave you in the capable hands of Master Fitter Lawrence.
How do you become a master fitter?
You don't.
Oh,
You just make it up as you go along.
But you've got a certificate.
no qualification.
Yeah, but you made me my certificate.
Oh, ChatGPT.
I know. That's why there was no spelling mistakes.
Right, what am I starting with then? Is it
So-
supposed to go high?
Yeah, so obviously wedges, we've got more loft on.
Yeah.
So they send the ball higher quicker and they don't go as far. So your energy
Right.
is deflected more to generate height. And that's how, if you imagine, this club is like the green is a dartboard. Instead of being vertical, it's flat on its back. What we're trying to do is get the ball up and to come down as steep as possible to stop really quickly. So just like throwing a dart into a dartboard if it's laid flat. All right?
Okay. Not as bad. No.
Do you find that you feel like you've got to bend your knees quite a lot to get to the golf club?
Every time I go into an upswing, it's like I second guess like where I have to meet the ground, do you know what I mean? And then I feel like I need my knee.
And when you set up, do you feel comfortable standing to your golf club or does it feel short or?
Feels like I'm stretching.
Okay, right, let's try something for you. So just looking at how you swing and how you set up, right, I think something a little bit more upright will just help you get more comfortable.
Okay.
I must admit, I'm really proud of you so far because it's very, very daunting being a beginner golfer. First of all, meeting someone like Lawrence, who's a master fitter, one of the best in the field, but also coming somewhere like this and having
Yeah, don't
a
like
bit of an audience as well.
people watching. Yeah.
Right, so I've just made that a little bit more upright.
Okay.
So when you stand to that now, you don't have to stand as far away to feel like the club's looking flat on the floor.
Yeah.
So you feel probably,
That feels
hopefully you
better.
feel a bit more comfortable, a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
more taller.
Tell you what, Lawrence. We only came for a shaft fitting. We've had the full treatment already.
Maybe I need a
By the
new.
way, 80 yards.
It's great, really nice that. That feel easier,
Yeah. a lot
easier to stand to and so on.
I feel like when the grip is, I feel like I'm gripping it harder because I feel like I don't. It's like pressure before.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? No. Made me laugh
Even that I
now.
don't mind. You know, like for
It's straight,
the
right?
club face is square, isn't it? Really good, Laura, that. And the reason why
That's
we're
not easy.
focusing on the shorter end of the bag as well is obviously 6 months pregnant. You don't want to be smashing driver all the time. You still want to keep your eye in, and we are working on the skill set, aren't we?
Yeah.
Lovely shot.
So good, man.
Yeah, and then it stops dead.
So really, really well done, right? What we wanted to see there is just basically, have we got that club helping us get in a better stance and posture at address and feel comfortable with that? If you don't feel comfortable, it's really, really difficult to swing the golf club, right?
Yeah.
So if we have it a little bit more upright, we can see here, obviously there's always going to be missed strikes. That just happens. It happens for everyone at every level. And we just have to understand what we're then going to try and have a look at is just, we'll get rid of sort of like the low ones because we don't need to see those. And sort of like the better strikes, what are they doing? How are they working? And we can see we're just a little bit through the heel there. Right? So that, again, isn't a problem. We can look at that and why might that be. But what we're going to do, we're going to look at what we've got. So we're currently carrying the ball somewhere between 60 and 75 yards at the moment. Okay. We want to target these good ones, which are between 70 and 75 yards, and try and see where do we work from there coming back towards ourselves. Okay. So if we look, the 75-yard one is just that white flag on the right-hand side. So we're only going to focus on the distance between here and there. So it's not like we're trying to hit the ball hard or anything like that. We're just trying to make sure that all the angles and the weights are right so it's easy for you to swing. Okay?
Yeah.
So you play 56 at the moment, don't you? So we're going from a 70-gram shaft into a 120-gram stiff shaft. Okay? It's a big, big leap. In terms of weight and so on, the head will be heavier because of that. It's built to suit this style of shaft, so it's not like that you could put a graphite shaft straight into it. You'd end up with a bit of a wonky balance. And again, the grip as well, we'll have a look at the grip, see where we get to with that.
For beginners, Lawrence, do you find that this happens a lot in wedges, where the wedges are, I must be honest, a little bit of an afterthought when it comes to the specs?
Definitely.
I made sure we had a good gap, so 60, 56, 52.
Yeah.
Apart from that, we didn't really delve into the graphite shafts and things, which is why we're here today with you.
Yeah, I think wedges are always massively overlooked for anyone. Usually a lot of people just build them off the back of their iron fit or anything like that, but you do have to talk about grind, bounce and angles specifically. But also beginner golfers, I think what they need to do is understand that it's really hard to learn how to do the right thing in the golf swing if you don't have appropriate product. So with Laura, for example, this is a very similar wedge weight and flex that you or I would play. And then if you imagine what happens as you're swinging that, being a new golfer, whether you're fast, slow or whatever, it's still a heavy weight. It's still a big, big thing to try and move. All of a sudden you're then trying to fight the golf club a little bit instead of concentrating on your delivery.
Which is what we found with wedges, isn't it?
I always say, if you think about junior golfers, for example, I know that because my son's learning to play. And when you take weight away, it's much easier for him to swing a golf club than it is when he's got something too heavy. So I always do the little drill where I turn the golf club round and say, it's a magic pencil, draw me a good swing. All of a sudden he just goes, boop, boop. It looks really, really good. You put a weight on the end or something feels really heavy, he's like, argh. And we want to try and avoid that for golfers in general, but also beginner golfers because you're still learning the skill, right?
Are you enjoying yourself here?
But mentally, that, you know, when every club you hit different, I think the more you can get them to feel the same, it helps, doesn't it?
So what we're going to do, we're going to get this to a similar lie angle to where your pitching wedges are a little bit more upright, just to help you stand to it.
I must admit though, I'm really impressed already with this because I came in just really for a bit of shaft fitting for you. So obviously L-Dogs, the MF, so we can just make sure everything's right.
So what we want to do here is, we're in the sand wedge, so this is your 56. There is another club that you've got in your bag between your pitching wedge and this, and then your lob wedge above that. All we want to do is just see a couple of full-ish swings. Again, we're not trying to, this is like your precision golf club. You don't have to whack it, you don't have to hit it far. It just does what it does, and then we go, right, what can we do to make things work around it or with it? Lovely shot. And that's all this club needs to do. Right? There's stuff that I can do to help you with that. But that's all that needs to do.
I'm really impressed.
Oh yeah. Just give him.
So you can physically see it looks harder work for you to swing. Right? And you can tell because all of a sudden you look like you're trying to hit down from the top to get it moving. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to build something very, very similar, just with a lighter shaft. So we're coming from 70 grams in the irons. The next step would typically be just put you in something around 80, 90 grams, just something a bit more sensible in weight.
So still steel at the moment?
Graphite. Going to go straight into graphite. It makes sense. There's a lot of technology, and the build of graphite nowadays is so good that we don't need to worry about whether it's as consistent or not. It's such a much tighter tolerancy than what it was. Tighter tolerancy. Right. So this is the same loft, same lie.
Okay.
A little bit different on the bottom of the club, so the sole, this bit, but we're not going to worry about that too much yet.
Okay.
I've made it also a little bit longer. Okay.
No.
So it's longer for the reason that where I think a lot of beginners go wrong is as your short clubs get shorter and shorter and shorter, we start to then forget it's a really difficult task just standing to the golf clubs consistently. So what I like to see is sometimes, depends on the player, but their pitching wedge sort of just drop into a gap wedge, maybe 1/4 of an inch, and then everything stay the same.
Right.
So you have the same lie angle, the same length, same swing weight, so they all feel the same. The only thing that's actually changing is just the angle on the face itself. All right? How did that feel?
Good.
Easier or harder?
Easier, I thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can hear there, your contacts become very different. Instead of it being like a harder, clicky noise, it's much softer. Okay, how does that feel in general? Better or worse?
Better, I think.
Better, you think?
Yeah.
Okay, why?
I feel less pressure in the upswing. Does that make sense?
So it feels like it's lighter here?
Lighter, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And do you think that that meant you could swing it easier or you could focus on something different?
Yeah.
Okay,
There's that many things to think about, isn't there?
Yeah. How's the grip feel? Okay, right. I'm going to go put something a little bit softer in feel.
Okay.
And also a bit bigger in size as well.
Okay.
All right? Just so that
Just zoom in on James's face. It's a joke, isn't it?
Right. So I've popped you a Dry Tack 2.0. It's a lighter grip than what you've had before. Again, trying to reduce the weight. Where I've done it is I've reduced the weight in the handle.
Right.
Okay, because what I want you to be able to do is feel where the head is without everything being too heavy. So what I've done, basically, I've reduced the dead weight of the golf club. So the sum of the components, you know, if you put it on a set of scales that way, that's your dead weight. Swing weight would be where the weight is in the golf club.
Right.
So it's a little bit thicker as well. It's their oversized grip. How did that feel as a grip?
A lot better. Like it's like softer.
Softer.
Yeah.
Oh.
Really good.
Good.
That feel better?
Yeah, a lot better.
Night and day.
Yeah. No. So, do you remember, James, when you used to tell me as a beginner that, like, how you would do the test with me, wouldn't you, and pull it out of my hands or whatever?
Hold
Is it like
as
a
though you're holding
budgie?
A budgie in your hand. You don't want to harm the budgie, but you don't want to let it get away.
Okay.
But then I think as soon as you put a different club in your hand, it's like you forget all that, and then you like trying to like hold on to it 'cause you don't know. Do you know what I mean?
It's also interesting, right? We get a golf club where you feel more comfortable and your strike pattern moves more towards the middle. Because you're no longer concentrating on, oh, that feels heavy, or oh, how does that have I got
Yeah, because there's too many factors to think about.
Right, we just and again for beginner golfers, it doesn't matter who you are or where you go, but actually having properly tailored golf clubs, whether it's just loft, line, and weight, it doesn't have to be an expensive process, right? All we've done is we've put a lighter shaft in. Head-wise, at that point for you, it probably doesn't make a huge difference, but it does to some degree in terms of weight. But actually just putting the right geometry on the golf club helps you find more of the middle of the golf club. And it feels easier to swing. And if it feels easier to swing, you're going to want to play more, and it encourages you to practice better. All right? So hit a couple more shots.
Even that bad strike one still launches, isn't it?
Yeah, it's more central as well. It's just a little low. Lovely shot. Really nice. Really good. Right, there was one that just drifted a little bit through the heel, but if you think about, we've come from there in something more like that. Okay, so the strike's improved a little bit. We've got great amount of spin at 5,500 revolutions. So we know the ball's appropriately working on the club face.
Yeah.
Lie angle wise, that can change as you have lessons and you improve and so on. Okay. But I think structurally, just to get you stood a bit better to the golf ball and more comfortable, going a little bit upright, and that's playing 35 and 3/4 inches at the moment. Okay. So it's a little bit longer. Just will help you. And probably that needs to be something that you put through the rest of your golf bag as well, bar hybrids and woods, etc. Okay. But it's a really good place to go. So from there, all I'll do is, just so that you've got that sort of continuity, I'll pull that shaft out because we know that length works, and then we'll try something with a little bit more loft on as well. All right? More of a higher lofted golf club.
But then it's like more beginners did this. I think it's just a confidence thing, isn't it?
Definitely. Do you have any beginners, Lawrence? Or?
We have sort of newer golfers, not flat out beginners, but guys or players that have been sort of a couple of years in the game. And it actually impacts them more than, say, a good golfer. Good golfers, I always say, have that ability to manipulate themselves quite quickly and make something work, which is why a fitting is very good. Well, for them especially, when you fit them, you try and change stuff quite quickly so they can't just become sort of acclimatized to it and just make something happen. Whereas sort of your amateur golfers, newer golfers, it's much more beneficial for them because they've got so much going on and it's such a hard task, right? Swinging a golf club, even for you, right? That golf club is moving at 45 miles an hour and it's still a very small surface area hitting a very small ball to a very small hole. So it's actually a really difficult task even at this level, let alone when you start to put more speed into it. So trying to make yourself as comfortable as possible is always what I'd advise. And even if it's just loft and lies, right, just get yourself something that's structurally sound. Right, so let's get this knocked up a little bit. Okay, so I've gone into a 60-degree for you. Again, exactly the same lie angle. So lie angle's the angle the shaft is from off the floor. Right. So it should sit perfectly flat and you don't have to change anything. The club should do all the work for you here. Okay. All right? Same grip, same length of shaft. Lovely shot. Like, a lot of people shy away from this golf club because they find it has a lot of loft and they find it quite difficult to hit because their instant reaction is to lift it up in the air. Whereas actually you still hit that perfectly, really, really good, nicely out the middle, flat in there. You delivered good dynamic loft as well. And we saw the ball go up, spin loads, land softly and not go very far. Perfect. That's what that golf club's for. This is your shortest fullish swing golf club, right? We're not wanting it to go further than that. All this is now is just contact. Is it easy for you to swing and get good contact with? Even that one, I like that because it wasn't a great strike. Fine, that happens to everyone. But it went up in the air, it was relatively close to the target, and it was much better than where we have been. Okay?
Yeah.
For expectation-wise, right, I always use a rule of thumb. If you're off 30 handicap, that's 60 mistakes in a round of golf. If you're 40, 80. Right? Double it up because you'll recover from half of them, roughly. Right? So you're allowed 60 mistakes. So in a fitting, you're allowed tons of mistakes. And if we don't see them, we can't help them. You actually need to come into a fitting hitting it badly. Because if you came in here hitting it bullet straight, perfect every time, I'd just be like, cool. Like I'm just sat twiddling my thumbs.
It's completely gone.
That's fine.
It's gone.
Okay, how about if we change this a little bit now? And I say, I want a very specific shot to that short white flag there. Okay, it's not very far. We've got all this uneven ground in front of us. And all we've got to do, really, really simply, is hit that on the floor. If that hits the floor, the club's going to come in like that, that hits the ball goes up.
Do you know what I'm thinking now? You've given me a specific target, I'm going to embarrass myself even further.
Why?
Because it's going to go like...
Why? Who cares?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm just telling you what I'm thinking as a beginner golfer.
But Laura, right, just put this into perspective. That's some polyfiller there. That's also from the same shot, and that same shot also hit me.
Right.
So in the grand scheme of things, you're already winning.
Okay.
right? So do not worry.
Watch this.
Pinball
Okay.
machine. That was
the
impressive.
flag.
We got it on CCTV. So. Okay. Right. All that's happening there, you're trying to hit it up in the air. Look. All of a sudden, that's 6 degrees up.
Yeah.
Well, there's no wonder you can't get the ball up in the air. If the club's travelling upwards, you're going to hit it with that sharp leading edge.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you just feel like the bottom of the club just slaps the floor as hard as you can, right? It's not going to do anything.
Okay.
It's just going to slide under the ball.
Yeah.
Lovely shot. There we go. Lovely hit. Because look at how quickly that stopped. Not your cleanest strike as well, but because you made better contact with the floor, the ball reacted better.
It's in line with it.
But you are aiming there.
I know.
You've just hit that
I know.
bullet straight with where you're aiming.
Yeah.
Great shot. And all of a sudden, that's a really good tool to have in your set, right? Because you can put a fullish swing, not have to do much with it. And again, that one is brilliant for me because you've hit down on the golf ball.
Right.
Right? And it's really counterintuitive that you have to hit down to get the ball to go up.
Yeah.
But we've seen there, you've hit down and the ball's gone really high, 6,500 revolutions of spin, and it's landing and it's not going to run very far.
Okay.
Which is a really good shot for you to learn because that's going to be really, really appropriate for when you play golf.
Yeah.
All right. So I actually just think if we just lighten your wedges up just so that they sit more in line with your irons, brilliant. Make them a little bit more upright and make them all the same length with a slightly softer and lighter grip.
Yeah.
You'll feel it's much easier for you to swing.
Yeah, yeah.
All right?
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you.
Very well done. It's not easy.
So what did we finish on in the end?
Right, so we've gone with the Acra wedge shaft. So it's 90 grams. The reason being is it's a little bit heavier than her current irons at 70, but it's significantly lighter. What we don't want to do is just change the boat, hands off, or everything all in one go. It's not easy to do that. It's nice and stable in terms of the tip section and gradually gets softer. Again, we've gone for a lighter, softer grip and slightly larger as well, just so that it just feels like we're not putting too much grip pressure on it. Again, short game wise, we don't want to feel like we're squeezing it. 60 degrees, and we've gone for a 67-degree lie angle. So we've really cranked it upright, but just so that at the moment it feels a little bit easier to stand to, nice and tall, get that club sitting flat on the floor without having to feel like you've got to manipulate yourself too much.
Yeah.
That will obviously change when things change in the future, but for now, just having those 3 wedges all the same will just make your life a little bit easier.
They're not as daunting.
No.
Well done.
All right?
Yeah.